Back, baby. It is Franchise Premier League Season 4 playoffs. So apologies for that bit of an extended break. We got some trading already as it's the semifinals, a flash from Canny between Big Back Catering and Mint Ice Cubes. These two teams already swinging at each other. Both teams bringing up members in the mid lane. We got a bit of a different, we got a cinematic resolution, let's say, on the screen here. Unfortunately, we got some issues with some production, so we got the GOAT True swinging in and saving the day.
Yeah, there it should be adjusted.
Okay, there we go. Perfect. Thank you, True. You are the Spider-Man of our league. Yeah, always here, friendly neighborhood. But True, take us through this early game. How are we feeling about this? I mean, Concrete Muncher did not go for Storm Raider Surge, so I think you're pretty happy with that.
Yeah, I mean, that means that you should be able to play a bit more of a more poke-oriented Gragas. Now, the thing is that Yorick is more than capable of sustaining, especially having that Doran Shield for the extra regen. But as Gragas, that means you're not gated. Like, you're going to be able to use your Keystone, right? Like, the other thing that I will say is that the damage on Arcane Comet did get buffed, but they nerfed, like, they completely removed the whole cooldown refund aspect, and you're seeing Concrete Muncher having a horrible time.
He is taking a beating.
And like, I think that's the other thing about Yorick, right? Like, it can be really annoying to trade into the champion, especially now with that Deathfire touch. I believe that your monsters will be proccing that, so it's a ridiculous amount of damage if you can get it all scaled up.
Yeah. I believe the scientific term for them is ghouls, but as I like to call them, the engineering department. But
okay.
That's a little joke for all the folks that went to my university. But anyways, I mean, it looks pretty standard here. I don't know how to say this Cassiopeia's name, so I think it's just May in the team list. So I'm gonna call them by that. But yeah, also going for that Deathfire touch, like the fact that Storm Surge is no longer, or sorry, not Storm Surge, Phase Rush is no longer available means that it's a lot harder to be safe on some of these control mages that, like, throw out like a QE auto and then you're out of there with that movement speed. So hopefully it'll be Mint Ice Cubes actually looking for the Cassio before she scales up to that really strong part of the game. We're seeing in the bot lane, it is going to be the Poppy support. I mean, Zig and Frisky pretty even, but we're looking at a gank here. The Lantern goes out, Death Sentence hits the flay in. Frisky tackles forward to make some distance, but Lol Kebin about to shoot him with the bullets, and it's a flash away at the last second to make sure Frisky just barely survives that. So gank on bottom lane, successful in getting the flash, but not the kill for the side of Big Back Catering. Still, both sides pretty even.
Yeah, I mean, that's just an ultra thin margin to be had for that Poppy. Like, you do see that Frisky, as you said, had to burn the flash. The other thing that is worth pointing out here is that Frisky went for Hail of Blade, so this is a very aggressive way to play Poppy. You get a lot of damage down in theory, sure, but that also means you don't have that general tankiness that Aftershock would give you. I understand that for a lot of people, Aftershock doesn't feel great, but personally, I don't mind it, especially when you're into a lane that's as capable as bullying early as a Caitlyn and Thresh. But Frisky able to get away by the skin of their teeth should be a-okay. Now, like, that doesn't mean that Zig is going to have an easy time here in this lane. You're still playing Jinx into Caitlyn, which means you're at a slight disadvantage early. You need time for that scaling to come through. But as long as you're not giving over extra gold.
Oh, decent trade, even though Frisky doesn't get the wall tackle. The Pilt over Peacemaker from Kevin trades a little bit back, but that is the strength of the Hail of Blades, right, that we were talking about here, True. I mean, it's a really good for the short trades that I think Caitlyn likes taking. The Jinx, typically likes the longer ones, but in those short trades, yeah, the Hail of Blades is so good. And you were talking about the, typical Aftershock that you take on Poppy. The fact that they don't have it, that means Frisky's not at risk of, getting subjugated because there's not really a full, I guess, like, resistance tank on Mint Ice Cubes like a typical Ornn or Cassante kind of thing. Concrete Muncher playing the Gragas likely just going to stack a bunch of health, and I think Panay does get a lot of extra stats from the Stone Skin, but it's not like he's building a full-on Thornmail as the Wukong. So Zig and Frisky, the fact that they're pretty even in farm, not losing too much, I think is really good for them. Even Zig picking up that cull means he's not that scared of taking the all-ins, is just happy to farm.
Yeah, I mean, you have the cull, you have Doran's bow. I mean, it's what I like to call, the greedy double greed items, because you are so much less safe with those. But combined, you do have a decent amount of health coming back to you. You just don't have any base health being added. So it's not the end of the world, but for a champion like Jinx, it does make I'd say a great deal of sense. Now, Concrete Muncher did use that explosive cask in the hopes of popping Canny into the turret range, but at the end of the day, you just kill the wave, force the Yorick away. I don't really think you're going to get much out of that, though.
Yeah, it's just kind of wet noodle fighting. I don't think the Gragas really has any chance of killing the Yorick at this point, especially since the Maiden is up. Kenny hasn't taken that first back yet, but the TP will be up soon. We're seeing Lizzo here hiding in the bush, and it's moving forward here, flight backwards. Death Sentence gonna whiff, but the pillar is good to cancel the movement, and Lizzo picks up first blood. The brush gank Trundle secures the kill. The trash pillar just so good at stopping the movement, and Frisky didn't have flash or the Hex Flash, chooses not to invest the exhaust, and it's just gonna go down for first blood. So a bit of a now blowing out into a 1k gold lead, and it does get Big Back Catering Prio for that first dragon to start the early stacking.
Yeah, and it's a good punish from Lizzo, right? The Poppy's flash is down. Like even with Hex Flash, that means the champion is super duper vulnerable. So it's a good read, good response to come back and punish Frisky for not having that ability. As you said, gives them inside track towards that first dragon, so they will get that single stack cloud for themselves. Next up on the table looks like it's an Infernal. So you're going to have, Cloud, Hex, or Chem Soul this game? Or not Cloud. Ocean, my bad. Taking a quick check for everyone else on the map. We've been looking at bot lanes so much. Jellybean Jeff doing decently well into the Cassiopeia. I think the other part of that is that Nay is somewhat gated by the fact that you're going for a scaling item in the Roa. Concrete Muncher, it's a similar case, but it's worse for this Gragas. So it's kind of going from okay to worse. As you see, he's already 3 waves of CS down functionally, and doesn't even have the blanking on it, Catalyst of Eon. So
Yes,
you don't have that additional sustain just from the item for you. So Concrete Muncher not having a great time here in this top lane, but I think that's kind of to be expected just because you had to blind top. You're playing into someone who's more than skilled enough to play into you. So yeah, it's going to be a rough for this Gragas.
Yeah, top lane is all about the matchups, and York is pretty happy with this one. I think it's going to be even more problematic in the mid-late game, as we're going to see the move from Lizzo on these grubs. Means that the side lane pressure of the York is going to be even more powerful with that true damage over time buff to the turrets. I mean, if Canny's unchecked on the side lane, I could definitely see a game where either just him by himself with the Maiden, or themself and Lizzo, these two tower taken monstrosities of the Trundle York just wrecking base, especially if Mint Ice Cubes, play their macro badly, and they use their TPs, too quickly, and they don't really respect the base race potential of Yorick Trundle. So we're gonna have to see how that goes. It looks like with that extra time that Trundle's spending up on top, it's gonna be Panay on the Wukong taking away bot side camp, so giving themselves a decent lead, trying to power farm towards that Triforce spike, before they make that gank. But yeah, so far the gold lead, it has not expanded too much for Big Back Catering, so Mint Ice Cubes with their double scaling carries and the Wukong, which I think we saw some monstrous Wukong gameplay last week, is gonna be pretty happy about that.
Yeah, I'd certainly agree with you. I mean, the gold that's really dividing these two teams is just the gold from the first blood, as well as the gold that Yorick is just accruing here in this top lane, just shoving this wave in. And it's so clear about how much Concrete Muncher is struggling in this matchup. Every single time those ghouls are called in, it hurts him so bad. Look at how much that DFT. Yeah, the DFT is hitting so hard because of those ghouls, because of Maiden now too. And there's really nothing that this Gragas can do against it. Your passive does heal you for max HP, but it's clearly not sustaining you well enough to play into it. And now you TP into wave.
Interesting cask.
Well, you have to use the cask to just create the space, right?
Wall slam from Frisky, getting a decent trade, but Kebin firing back. The trap placed is so good. Zig takes about 90% of their HP, but the gank from Panay gets a double knock up with the Cyclone. The exhaust used, though. Zermega Death Rocket take Rex Cat low, and he misses the Death Sentence because the flash over from Panay gets it. Panay now taken very low, though. Kebin charging up that ace in the hole. It hits Frisky, but they're both still barely alive. Lizzo is here and flashes for it, but there's a roam down bot from Jellybean Jeff. I think the Victor's enough to dissuade the Trundle from diving. So great play from Mint Ice Cube. They only secure one off of a pretty long play, and they didn't get the Caitlyn actually. So, Zig's still at a pretty big farm deficit, and the kill going over to Wukong means he gets the Triforce. So overall, Mint Ice Cubes, yes, they get one back and squeeze the gold lead a little bit smaller, but it's not a huge win. Just killing the support and letting the Caitlyn continuing to farm and collect plates.
Yeah, the most important part is that Zig doesn't die there, right? Equalizing the kill score is great, but making sure that the Jinx is able to stay up, you don't really set the Caitlyn behind at that point, but like making sure that Jinx doesn't fall further behind is a good thing. Risky and aggressive. That's a tiny little chunk onto Rexcat, but I don't really think that Thresh is all that bothered. I think as a support, Rexcat is infinitely more bothered by the fact that you can't get that control ward.
Absolutely. I mean, the big thing is that Caitlyn is going to return with that Hex Optics. I think this item has been so, popular. Like, the extra range is so good. The crit, the AD, like, every stat is practically great for every AD carry. And yeah, Kevin with the bow, with the Hex Optics, it seems like the most popular build for almost every auto attacker so far. And yeah, that bit of a lead from the plates, from the minion lead, is going to mean that Zig and Frisky are going to have to be really careful trying to fight into this Caitlyn again.
Yeah, I mean, top lane going a little bit better for Concrete Muncher here. Actually,
he passes in. Kenny actually has to flash away. So Concrete Muncher flash, getting the flash out. Wait. Oh, we're seeing some danger here. Frisky getting the wall bang into the double knockup, but now Panay's going on the Caitlyn. There's a solo kill top lane for the TP in mid from the Cassio. Lizzo pops the subjugate, taken very low though, but Mei is here to execute Frisky. It's a trade back with the Arcane Storm, a jump back in on Rex. Got the Cyclone, gets the kill. Now Kevin is running away from Jellybean Jeff, who got a double kill, is taken so low by the laser, by the Siphon Power, and it's a triple for Jellybean Jeff. And they're continuing to make the move with Panay, who decoys in. He gets the crushing blow, big damage. Can this be turned around by Mei, who flashes away? They get the kill on the Wukong, but surely I think they're going to go down to the Jinx and the Victor. Team Arcane get the kill for a cross-map ace, but Zig goes down in the process, but it's 4 kills to Jeff and 3 to Mei on the Cassio, so both mid laners making the roam, collecting nearly all the kills, but Mint Ice Cube up just a little bit from that, and Jellybean Jeff is looking like this guy's a Mike and Ike. This guy's a huge Jellybean with that 4-kill lead.
Okay, no, Mike and Ike's are way better than Jellybean's, personal opinion.
Jelly bellies, right? Yeah, I preach that.
Yeah, moving away from that though, so 2 things good happening well for both of these teams here, right? Obviously, the highlight is Jellybean Jeff getting 4 kills, stacking up like so many of your passive stacks for your ability upgrades is awesome. But on the other side of that, Mei being able to salvage that fight, getting 2 kills at the very end of it, means that Cassio also gets injected with a nice chunk of gold. So this game kind of seems like it's going to break through the mid laners, potentially looking at a situation where who's able to have the more fight-defining moments between the Cassio and the Victor. Once again, top lane becoming extremely scrappy. Muncher, I'm not sure if this is something you want at this point, because you have
big slow from the barrel though, but they're taken so low by the ghouls, by the maid, and they're just getting chunked out by that Deathfire touch. They're getting touched with the maid in the top lane. Oh, actually decoys past the wall, and I think this is an easy kill with that crushing blow. The Triforce spike is just so good for the Wukong, and it's going to pick up a second one, means that Concrete Muncher and the Wukong Panay are going to get some free time, I think, in this top side and on this turret, as the Yorick can't get the TP back, and the maiden's down for a long time now. But in the bot side, in response, it was Lizzo getting the second dragon for the team. Big back catering now on 2. The net combo gets big damage. Frisky dashing him and taking a huge chunk themselves. The headshots just hit so hard. Frisky getting exhausted as well. So they're going to have to back off. Zig and Frisky at very low health bars, and Kevin is so healthy. They cannot stay around for this turret, I don't think.
Yeah, things were going decently. Like, Jinx, once again, only died at the very end of that last fight. Wait, Jellybean Jeff in a bit of trouble.
Jellybean Jeff getting the huge bait on Panay, swings in with the Cyclone and knocks him over. Call it Beyblade, as it's going to be Jellybean Jeff getting a great bait onto Mei, who just thought they could get the rush down with the Petrifying Gaze, but Jellybean Jeff says, nah, I'm going to walk out of that, and another kill secured for the Wukong.
Yeah, I mean, for as much as we're rightfully complimenting Jellybean Jeff in that last fight, the other, equalizing factor was Panay showing up at the right time, finding that Cyclone, flash in the bot lane.
Yeah, Redcat in some danger. It's the TP from bottom from Concrete Muncher. He's going straight for Lol Kevin as the turret still goes down and they get the kill onto the Jinx. Oh, flash away at the right angle means that explosive cast doesn't knock the Caitlyn back in, but it is first turret and second turret going over to Big Back Catering off that TP. So evening up the gold just a little bit, but the kill score, the gold lead in total still in the hands of Mint Ice Cubes, but they do give over a couple of the outer turrets, means that Canny's going to be, Canny, Lol Kevin, and Rexcat are going to be unlocked on the map.
Yeah, and what I was getting into is that Panay has been so active on the map, responding at just the right time in a lot of these fights, that the Wukong is having such good presence, and it's really lifting up Mint Ice Cubes in situations where it kind of looks like, in the isolated lane fights are not going their way. Wukong shows up and equalizes it, and it's working out really, really well for Mint Ice Cubes. Now, granted, they are still losing on the map, if you like, considering they lost 2 outer turrets already, and that does give Big Back Catering a little bit of flexibility in the ability to ward and the ability to move into Mint's jungle. They are going to be on their 3rd neutral objective of the game here. I mean, for as effective as Panay has been, and in a really, really meaningful way, given up almost every single neutral, I think with the exception of Grubs, that's definitely going to start creating some pressure. As this is going to be an Ocean Soul coming up Ocean Soul Point coming up rather soon for the side of Big Back Catering.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's, I don't know. I feel conflicted about this as a jungler. I'm like, oh man, he's losing in objectives, and hey, you don't get the bonus anymore from Feats of Warfare because you got the first 3. Wait, there's a gank mid, double Cyclone hits. Oh, Kevin taken low, but the Flame Chompers don't get the root. Kevin taken so low, Super Mega Death Rocket, no! It gets body blocked by Rexcat, but the splash damage is good enough. The AoE gets the kill, but now in the top lane, Concrete Muncher is getting chased down by Canny, gets the slow, gets the movement speed, and is able to walk out of there. The Scuba Gragas just swimming to safety, so Canny investing a lot there, but so did Concrete Muncher. Going back to the earlier point, though, it's just great engage from Panay. Makes it happen a freebie given over to Zig as well. That is the exact champion you want the gold on. So, like you said, Panay just making so many great plays around the map. Yes, you give up some of the objectives, but it does get your carries further ahead. And now Concrete Muncher is surely just dead. They flash, they use the explosive cast, and I think Lizzo's going to catch him. They chomp down for a shutdown. So, trade of flashes over, but it's a shutdown over to Lizzo.
Yeah, and that's not really going to bother Big Back Catering all that much, even losing the flash on the Trundle, just because you are trying to make this Yorick that much of a split push threat. And you're already seeing with that completed Triforce, just the Triforce, Yorick is more than capable of pushing these towers down. That top lane inner turret is already down to 1 plate. So it's getting more and more tense on the map for the side of Mint Ice Cubes, in spite of the fact that they're the ones with the kills. They're still doing more than reasonably well, something like a 2.5k gold lead for themselves. It's just the fact that even with the advantage, now you're staring down at Yorick with Rift Herald, so you need to be able to respond pretty much at any moment's notice. That dragon is coming up in just about 15 seconds. Both of these teams should be angling for this. Jellybean Jeff pushing in the top lane does have TP available, though.
Yeah, Herald is used mid for the pressure, and I think it's going to go down to the charts. The TP invested already from Jellybean Jeff very early to get positioning, and they're going to be here for the fight. Lizzo looking for Frisky. The chain goes out. Explosive cast on the Cassio does big damage, but the exhaust uses the double stun from the Petrifying Gaze. But look at the Victor just rip them apart with the Arcane Storm. It is the Jinx hook back in, but there's no follow-up from the Destins, and Rectex Cat is going to go down. Bullet blocked, and Panay's in the backline on top of Kevin. Canny can't do anything from this monkey business, and Canny gets lasered down as well. It is a clean ace from Mint Ice Cubes as they just kite out the fight, and Jellybean Jeff drops a lore accurate Arcane Storm on him. Call that the Hextech Anomaly, because they just ripped apart the entire team. Looked like Cassio got an amazing Petrifying Gaze. 2 of them hit, 1 of them hit the clone, and then just everybody was in position for the victory to get the full combo, and it just tore apart both Kevin, May, and Lizzo. Like, everybody just exploded because there's no magic resist on anybody, and they just get fried. So it's now a massive gold lead. Mid lane tier 2, stopping of the dragon stacking, and Mint Ice Cubes are in a great position from that spot.
Yeah, I mean, this is amazing for Mint at this point, because they hard win the fight, putting themselves almost up to a 7k gold lead, but they've also stopped the stacking. They're also pushing the map, like, you're re-equalizing the towers on the map. So they're definitively in that driver's seat, and you're taking a look on the players on Mint, really like everyone has only died once with the exception of Frisky, and you see, the 6-1-7 Wukong, the 4-0-5 Victor, the Jinx that's 3-1-7, working towards like roughly 2 1/3 items already at 20 minutes into the game. So yeah, Mint is extremely well positioned. And I was already saying earlier, like in the context of Gragas having Storm Raiders, but still, Gragas playing with a lead, going for this AP heavy build, is going to be really effective into these squishy targets like Cassiopeia, like the Caitlyn. And I was saying, like Mint's angle in some of these situations is going to need to be that explosive cast for the disruption. That's kind of what happened in the last fight. The other thing that happened in the last fight is what I said about like is the problem for Big Back Catering. They need to be the ones who set up on these objectives first, because if they can't do that, and if Mint is able to set up before them, then they have to walk in. They can't control neutral zones quite as well, and that does mean that their carries are going to be placed under a lot more pressure to survive, and that's exactly what happened just now. And you're seeing this already with May. Like, yes, Concrete Muncher, it does do a lot of damage, but the Cassio is still relatively vulnerable.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, the fact that Cassio did go for the Swift March, I mean, that is good with the passive for the synergy, but not tanky at all outside of that Rod of Ages, and the Seraph not yet completed. The fact that Jellybean, Jeff, and Zig are, quickly approaching 3 items, which I think was probably their most powerful spot on that 3-item spike. Once Jinx gets IE, it's going to be massive. I don't know if you can check for us here, True, I'm pretty sure the Victor is on full stacks of the passive, but now we got a gank here on bottom. Panay looking for the looking for the decoy angle, doing big damage to Candy, but can't get out of the cage. Can they go fast enough? Super Mega Death Rocket hits, and it's going to be the Cyclone invested as well. So 2 ultis invested for just the kill on bot, and it's going to be an instant start on this Baron buff. I think it's spotted by the side of Mint, and the Gragas is here to disrupt, so they have to do something here, or else it's going to go down. It goes down quite quickly. Can Concrete Muncher get an angle?
I think they have it, though.
Cast? He's not going to go for the explosive cast, so it's just going to go down. So it's a trade of one guy for Baron, but now it's
just going to chase it, yeah.
Concrete Muncher looking for something as a flash away. Frisky flashes as well. The zap hits. Explosive cast is great for knocking back into the Petrifying Gaze hits, but there's just the exhaust, and there's not enough damage from the Snake to get the kills, and Rexcat goes down. So in the end, it is just 2 members with the Baron buff for 3 kills on Mint, so they blow open the gold lead even further. But the Baron buff is going over to their opponent, Big Back, getting those empowered waves, getting the ability to stall out longer. Means that Mint Ice Cubes, a bit of a mistake, but they are able to get that gold back, which is quite good for them, especially on these carries, like I said. But now look at the carries here. Jellybean Jeff in some danger. The Pillar not canceling his back, but he does get the flash away. The Arcane Storm and Frisky's here to support. Super Mega Death Rocket does a lot, and Canny shredded so low by that Arcane Storm. Frisky looking for that Hammer Shock, but it doesn't get the kill. Canny's able to heal back up, so it is a flash traded from Lizzo over for Jellybean Jeffs, but that Victor now in a lot of danger for that next team fight, unless they, decide to buy like an arm guard for this next fight. So Mint Ice Cubes with their carries, 50% vulnerable, let's say, but the Jinx, that other 50% has the flash. It's going to have the Ghost up likely for this next, maybe not Dragon, but the next big fight after, and is on 3 full items, so that is going to be massive if the Jinx is able to free hit.
And it really feels like the Jinx will be able to free hits, just considering that Zig has a number of champions that you can stand behind, right? Like, you have the Poppy, you have the Wukong, the Gragas even. Like, even though Gragas is going for a full AP build, he's still somewhat of a bruiser. Wait, Lizzo's getting caught!
Maybe getting caught out here. Oh, but the ward on top of the Lantern was not fast enough. It was good enough micro from Lizzo to click that Lantern and get out, but good attempt on the look. Oh, wait, a hook in. Rexcat getting the drag back, but it's not enough to keep Concrete Muncher in place. But I think with that, there's enough positioning for Mint Ice Cubes to set up around this Dragon that is spawning soon.
Yeah, Dragon's up here, but I think that if you are Big Back Catering, you kind of just have to let this go. There's not really that you can substantively do. So yeah, they elect to push out top, they push out mid. I don't think they're going to get anything in the mid lane, though, fortunately for them. Canny continuing to push in towards this top lane, but once again, the Victor is more than able to respond. Like, you have such strong wave clear that you aren't really all that bothered by the Yorick. And I think the annoying thing for Mint at this point is that you are hoping for two things. You're hoping to hit ultra late game so that your Caitlyn is getting closer to hitting like almost a one shot status on your squishies, right? But you're also hoping that you can claw and somehow come away with a soul. Like the stacking needs to stop if you're Mint, or sorry, if you're Big Back Hater, and you can't let Mint get towards an Ocean Soul because if they do, then they're so ultra tanky. There's not a shred of grievous wounds built. Oh man, Lizzo
Caught
and
out is
Bounce
Lizzo, gets hit with the Cyclone. He pops the Subjugated himself, but they're just in the bounce house. The knockups from the Gregs and the Wukong keep them so locked up that they can't do a damn thing. So Lizzo getting sent back to the bakery as Pinay and Concrete Muncher just fry them in a 2v1, and Canny just has to back away. It's looking like May's looking for just pure farm, trying to clear the bottom wave, trying to maybe get something on bottom tier 2, but in the entire side of Big Back, or sorry, Mint Ice Cubes are knocking on the top side of Big Back's turrets, and they're going to clear this tier 2, and it's going to be Jellybean Jeff knocking on that tier 3, so they have a lot of pressure. May's likely going to solo this entire turret, but there's just a lot of damage on the structures here. Now Jellybean Jeff may be in some danger. The Lantern goes out, but the Gravity Field is placed perfectly to make sure that he can't get engaged on, but in the end, it's a trade of 1-for-1 for turrets, but the gold being isolated on that Casio is really big for Big Back Catering to get their carries further ahead, maybe even on parity for this next fight. Oh, but maybe May's in some danger. And they didn't actually get the full turret.
Yeah, they're not able to finish off the turret, and the Cassia trying to slither all the way out here. We'll get slowed up. Thresh with the Lantern should get you out.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they're okay.
Yeah, Rexcat, the savior.
Yeah, like it's a good thing, right? Getting the Casio out, like making sure that you don't give up more gold. But it's still a delicate position that you find yourselves in. Okay, now you're able to get the turret because Lolcavin is able to push down that mid lane tier 1. But this is the game state for Big Back Catering, right? Like they can't take a fight. They need to just push the map out. They need to constantly be marking out where Mint's players are, and then sending someone elsewhere, making sure you get a turret here, you get some farm there, and you can't keep leading. And they're doing it somewhat effectively, at least in the last couple of minutes, but now May is in a whole ton of trouble. Dodging real well, though.
Feed on May and into a double stun. Half HP on the Gragas, but they continue to chase. Panay sees them on the ward. It's going to be Frisky looking to get the flank angle. The miasma is good. The movement speed from the snake runs into the Poppy, though, and flashes towards the wall, and they're just going to get jumped on. The bounce house combo continues, and Panay goes legendary. You can run, but you cannot hide, as it's going to be Frisky finding them with the movement speed. It looked like a good flash from the snake until you realize there's a different, more dangerous one in the grass as Frisky. Yeah, just great flank angle. I mean, it looked good until you realize you flashed into the wall and then you just get comboed. So the side lane play is not succeeding for Big Back. It's going to be bot lane going down for Mint. They're getting that tier 1 bot, and before this Baron that spawns very soon, it looks like things are falling apart.
Yeah, I mean, I think the flash was like a panic, almost, right? Like, there's no real reason you should be flashing there. It's just like the moment the Poppy shows up, they flash out. But this should be Mint's uncontested Baron. I don't really think that there's a way viably for BBC to contest this, and they're not really interested in it. Once again, they're just trying to push the wave out. You can see like Lolcavin trying to push the mid lane turret down alongside Lizzo, but they're going to have to exit. Dragon is spawning in short order, but I don't think it's another one that they can really hope to contest. They should have better setup for it, though, as you do see some resets coming through from the side of Mint. And if you can have Casio, it's not a bad idea, but I think they're just letting this go. Like, they're not going to commit to setup. You can see that May is going to be pushing towards the top lane. TP is available, but that means they are conceding initial setup
Rexcat taking a lot of damage, stunned into the wall. There's so much damage on this Thresh, but the trap is good. Frisky taken very low. Rexcat getting exhausted, but flashes in the back line. Kebin has to bury and run away. Now it's Panay just kiting everyone with the Cyclone running away, doing some more monkey business. Lizzo's taking about half HP. The stun goes on the Gragas, who's taken so low. A flash forward to kill Concrete Muncher, but Panay goes down first. Explosive cast used, and it's just the Jinx popping off. Zig is going hyperspeed and killing everybody. It was a valiant attempt by the side of Big Back Catering, but the carries of Mint Ice Cubes, again, just untouched. Panay included, right? You kill Frisky, you kill Concrete Muncher, and that's exactly what they're here to do. They're here to frontline and absorb the pressure from their team. You saw May use the Petrifying Gaze on just the Gragas. You saw the Subjugate being used on Frisky, but in the end, it's these three that matter. It's Zig, it's Panay, it's Jellybean Jeff that have the damage to kill your team, and they have the Baron and the damage to kill your Nexus. So game one, in a decisive manner after that last team fight, is going to go over to Mint Ice Cubes at just over 30 minutes. They take game one of this 5-game series. Welcome back, everyone, to the FPL semifinals for Season 4. It is Big Back Catering down 1 game against Mint Ice Cubes, and it is Kevin Dunk, your play-by-play, joined by the one and only True on color, backed up by Shivam on production, taking you to game 2 of this best of 5 Fearless series, as both teams got a little bit of an interesting draft. We got Lizzo on the jungle brand, we got Concrete Muncher on the top lane, and Nivea and Zig Frisky going the squishiest bottom lane of all time. So we're going to see how both teams can pull this draft off.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, like these are some very, very squishy teams to be had on both sides. So I'm kind of concerned about like because this is certainly a situation of whoever gets that initial lead is kind of going to be able to define the state of the rest of the game headed forward. So like the lane state matters so much for this game. I will say Rexcat does have the summon Airy, which is not exactly what I think like might be best for like given the particular situation. But maybe, right, like assuming that you are able to get a lead as this Corky Seraphine, like doing damage is certainly not an unwelcome thing to be had. But I think that it's probably just safer for what I'm like speaking to, not necessarily most efficient with a lead, but like just generally safe. I think Mel is just so important for this team, like for both of these teams here, just like seeing how that's going to be used. But that's that sweet spot damage we were talking about in Champ Select. Ooh, man. I mean, like I know that Anivia top right now is pretty in vogue, but like, ooh, man. Like I hate playing against Aatrox. Like if I main top lane, I think I might ban Aatrox almost every game. Like,
and Concrete Muncher maybe in some danger, but the gank here from Panay.
He's coming in.
Yeah, very low, but the Q3 was used. It's a flash wing from Canny, and Panay's doing the damage with the auto attacks, and the red buff slow, I think, is just going to be an easy kill. Just one more auto attack. Okay, it's going to be a flash from Panay, but it's secured nonetheless. So the over-aggression from Canny without that early ward means Concrete Muncher baits them in and doesn't even lose the egg. So great job from Concrete Muncher to really bring in Canny for the kill in Panay. We talked about their early ganks, their timely ganks on the Wukong. They're doing an early one on this J4.
Yeah, and in like pretty much instant response from Lizzo in that situation, seeing J4 go for that early gank means he knows he can just run straight into the blue and take that. So I think that that's a more than appropriate response from Lizzo. It's like, okay, well, I know where the J4 is. This should be an easy grab. Take this, take the camp away. You don't have to worry about that. And it's a more than reasonable response. But at the end of the day, like it is a nice like little bump for the side of Mint to get that in there. Like J4 is so effective at early ganking, and Nivea certainly has that in spades. And back up here towards that top lane, you're still seeing the Concrete Muncher not having the greatest time, able to trade back reasonably effectively because Nivea has such great auto range, but also your abilities are rather bursty. So I think by post 6, Concrete Muncher, the game gets a lot easier, just because you're able to have that AoE slow. But for now, it's a bit more annoying because Aatrox should just be able to walk up to you more effectively. The other thing is that Anivia is so gated by mana, it doesn't really feel all that great. A little bit of trading here in the
Jeff already used the satchel though, so maybe they're in some danger. They're walking up very far against Jellybean Jeff. The flag and drag hits. There's no flash. There's no mana, and it's the root from the solar snare. That means Panay, again, right time, right place. A good setup from the laners to draw on the enemy, and the mind control of Mint Ice Cubes to get the hungry hippos of Big Back Catering, get them another kill for second blood. Now about a 1k gold lead for the team. Solo laners, happy to get the assist, but Panay very happy to start off with 2 kills.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I would say is expected from a J4 so early in, right? Like You are so effective at pulling off a gank as J4 as opposed to Rand this early in the game. Concrete Muncher's in trouble here.
Already in the egg form, the beautiful combo from Canny. They have the Ignite too. They have the fully stacked Conquer. I think this is going to be a kill unless Concrete Muncher uses the Flash. They get the Flash Frost for the stun. Canny doesn't have Flash to follow, and Panay is here once again. Ham top, baby. Gets the Golden Aegis for the slow. Gets the Flag and Drag for the knockup, but Canny's still alive. It crystallizes great to keep Canny in place. But the chain hits, but it's not enough as the Frostbite gets the bite down. Mint Ice Cubes living up to their name as the Cryo Phoenix puts them on ice. Concrete Muncher finally picking one up. Panay just practically superhuman with how many ganks they're just pulling off. And just really setting their laners ahead with that early pressure.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, if I'm Big Back Catering right now, if I'm Candy specifically, I am so upset. Like 2 times in a row now, you are having the better end of your 1v1, right? You are constantly pressuring this Anivia. You force her into egg, and that means that this early on, Anivia actually loses resistances in egg form. Super, super vulnerable. And then J4 just flies in, last second, salvages the situation, and now you've died twice. Now you lost your Ignite too. Feels horrible.
Yeah, we see
Jellybean Jeff kind of showing reminding everyone why everyone hates Mal.
Yeah, you just walk up, block the Seer. There's just no threat. I think Jellybean Jeff didn't even have that Radiant Volley to trade back, but they're doing fine. And speaking of doing fine, look at bot lane. Like Zig and Frisky aren't in any danger. It's Senna just up, half away with CS. It's it's pretty much nothing. But the fact that Corki, Seraphine, which should have a stronger early, that should be trying to pressure the scaling Senna, just aren't getting much out of it. And Zig and Frisky are looking very comfortable. And again, I think this is what we were talking about, True. Like, scaling is in the hands of the Senna. Oh, maybe I spoke too soon as there's another gank top as Canny is back in a 2v1. The camp doesn't stop as Concrete Muncher hits him with the Glacial Storm. And even Jellybean Jeff is here.
Oh my God.
That is just abuse on the top lane as the honorable 1v1 gets turned into a 2v1, gets turned into a 3v1, and Mint Ice Cubes are just sending everything at this Aatrox as it's going to be Big Back seeing the J4 top and going straight for this dragon.
And top lane is an island, Kevin, but it seems like Panay and Jellybean Jeff have punched their tickets for a island getaway.
Absolutely.
Canny continues to suffer immensely in that top lane. Now, the responses from Big Back Catering, right? Seeing J4 in the top lane so consistently, you are seeing Lizzo punish it appropriately. You're like, okay, I'll take the blue, I'll take first
drag into the Cataclysm. It's a flash away, but now Panay under a turret is going to get exploded by the Mega Inferno Bomb. It's a shutdown over to the Ziggs, but it does mean it's a trade 1-for-1. Jellybean Jeff gets the kill and gets an extra plate off of it, but big shutdown money going over to May.
Yeah, I think that this is a situation where you're very much seeing Panay just responding appropriately, right? You know that your bot lane wants to play passively. You're playing Nami Seraphine, for goodness sake. You are not, this is not the bot lane where it's like, yes, I need to get them ahead early. Like, Senna needs to be super far ahead. No, Senna just needs time. And Senna is more than happy to take that time. Like, yes, that also means that Corki is going to have time, but that means it's a wash, right? But if you can accelerate your top lane, you accelerate your mid lane, and more importantly, you set this Aatrox and this Ziggs behind, it's so much harder for Big Back Catering to play, and Concrete Muncher in a little bit of trouble.
Muncher is going to go down. Great plays from Canny, flashing forward over the wall, had the Ignite too, and Concrete Muncher goes down. They couldn't get the second recast on that Flash Frost due to the knockup, so finally the on-roll 1v1 goes in the way of Aatrox as it should have been. Anivia goes down, and yeah, Canny's pretty happy with that as they're going to be able to collect a plate here as well.
Yeah, and the thing is that there's really nothing that Concrete Muncher can adjust in their build to neutralize the Aatrox, because as Anivia, you're so reliant on getting those scaling items in, right? Like, you need the tier, you need the Roa, you need the mana. So it's going to get spotted out here.
Base checking, and now they're in some danger. Panay doesn't have the flash, gets knocked up, gets dragged back by the chain. Oh, they could not get the buffer on the flag and drag, so Canny picks up another one. Lizzo burns him down, and Canny knocks him down. So the, top jungle synergy, still going on the side of Big Back for now. They're actually clawing back a pretty significant amount of gold. They're down about 2k, now it's just cut down to 500. So great plays from their laners, mostly Canny, to kind of turn it around as Canny continuing to go very aggressive on the Anivia. Wave is in a good place for the Aatrox, so Anivia can't really do much other than just kind of stand here and have to try to push out the Aatrox, but I'm not sure if it's working. Canny getting a Q1 and a Q2. Concrete Measure doesn't have Flash, has the slow from the Glacial Storm, and Lizzo is here for reinforcements. The stun hits, I think Concrete Muncher can make it out now.
Yeah, and I think that's a little bit of like, yes, Aatrox is so annoying to play into, but this is also why Anivia is a pain to deal with, just because you have so much area control. You're able to deny your opponent from trying to like continuously walking on you with that wall. And obviously, with the Glacial Storm, you create that slow. It's so much harder for Aatrox to get that Q3 out. But the solo lanes for Mint are starting to struggle now, floundering a little bit without that J4. So you're seeing this Anivia, this Mel, eating a whole ton of damage in both of these lanes.
I think Concrete Muncher might be in some danger. They already flashed away, and it's going to be the Q2 into the last auto. It's the egg mode, and there's no jungler here to save you this time, Concrete Muncher. Are they going to get resurrected in time? I don't think so. They have the Blast Cone, though. Do they make it out? Oh my god, that is a miraculous escape, and Canny had the auto on the Blast Cone the whole time, but chose not to hit it, so that little one auto means everything. Means that Concrete Muncher gets away with that egg.
Yeah, you'd think, like, okay, like, in this situation, I like, the Blast Cone is the one thing that can save the Anivia. You know the Flash isn't available, so if you actually preemptively take the Cone with the egg, there's really not much that Concrete Muncher can do in that situation. But Canny, I think the guy just wanted to finalize the kill. Didn't work out this time, but overall, you know, like, that gold deficit, as you said, has kind of just evaporated. Like, things are going really well for Big Back Catering, and that's kind of the assumption that I was like keeping in mind here. Like, the solo lanes should be relatively safe because Ziggs, there's not a lot that Mel can easily reflect back at you in a meaningful way. Aatrox is a lane bully, and if you're able to make it past Anivia's wall, your game plans are so much easier. And that's certainly what's happening. Panay, this guy has been the X factor for both of these solo lanes, turning them into 2v1s consistently. But as of late, past couple of minutes, has not been able to pull that off. Bot lane continuing to be a farm fest, Kevin. You know,
I mean, I'd be happy to be the center.
Yeah, but like, you're happy to be Corky too, right? Like, you're not really all that upset by it because you just want time to free farm, you know, stack up your tier, work on your Triforce, and just get there. As Zig, like, this is just a hard farming game because you're playing towards static, you're playing farming Senna. The soul stacks are nice and all, but you're just playing around.
Oh wait, Tidal Wave? It's Rexcat and hits Kevin as well. It's a flash away from Rexcat, but he gets slowed up by the Dawning abilities. Oh my god, the Reflect on the Encore is perfect as Jellybean Jeff knocks that one back to get the charm and gets it on Rexcat for the kill. So now with that bot lane prio and that kill, maybe he Mint Ice Cubes looking for this first dragon.
And that's what I was saying. Like, when it comes to these fights, it's a lot easier. Oh man, that is a lot.
Oh man, the spacing.
Like, with that Electrocute plus the double damage procs, that is kind of nuts from Concrete Muncher. But look, that's what these fights should shape out to be because there is so little.
Oh my gosh, that was
an early smite.
Oh my god, Panay with early smite doesn't get punished, never punished, but oh, that was a bit close. First dragon for me.
All according to plan. I don't know what you're talking about, Kevin.
Absolutely. Oh, top lane, though. Trade him ultimates, use World Ender popped, but Canny doesn't have the flash, can't get in close. Wait, Zig hits the root, though, with that Dark Embrace. Hits him with another one, and is Kevin having to Valk out, so it's looking like the Senna Seraphine, or sorry, the Corky Seraphine is starting to get bullied out by the Senna Nami.
Yeah, like, it's... I think it's absolutely the case that Corky is just going to be hit by a lot of incremental damage. Or, like, Concrete, this should be just death.
He might be just dead unless the healing from the Roa, it's not enough. The Catalyst can't give him enough healing through the burn. And another solo bolo for the side of Canny makes it happen. So I think it's 2 solo kills and that 1 assist from the assisted kill from Lizzo. So yeah, Canny, even though being set down, what is that, 2 kills early? 3 kills early is still absolutely wiping the floor with the Anivia top.
Yeah, and it's really just because of how vulnerable Anivia is to damage. If you're able to get on top of that cryo Phoenix, there's just not really much that can keep her safe. Lizzo with the nice little yoink says thanks for the leash. Don't think that Jellybean Jeff can catch. No, it doesn't look like it. But once again, Lizzo being able to steal away 1 camp relatively unbothered. In spite of all the counter jungling, though, Lizzo is actually still a little bit behind, like in a tragic way. But the game state is not bad for the side of Big Bang. Right? Like, this is not going nearly as poorly as Game 1 did. Your solo, especially that Aatrox, doing really, really well. It now has that completed voltaic cycle sword, or cyclo sword, so should be hitting more than hard if you're just able to close onto the Anivia, which we've seen Canny do several times already in this game.
Yeah,
you actually can't stand here. You have to just walk out. Yeah, you
Muncher gets it within Umbral Chains, and I think they might just go down. A flash over the wall. Concrete Muncher tries to run. Egg mode activated, but I think Canny has enough damage to kill through the egg. Q1 hits, Q2 hits. Is there going to be a Q3? It does. Q3 into the Umbral Dash makes it happen, and Concrete Muncher just getting farmed. That is a pretty cold omelet, but that's what you expect when you go against Mint Ice Cubes. But now it's a 4-man play in the bot side. Jellybean Jeff getting spotted by the ward. There's no wave just yet. Ooh, a nice snare onto the Corki. Tidal Wave into the Flag and Drag. Cataclysm instantly. They delete the Corki. The TP's getting channeled, but May is not here fast enough. Jellybean Jeff still has the Golden Eclipse if they can push in this way, but the Ziggs is clearing just fast enough. They just need one tick onto the Seraphine. Oh my god, they get the bounce back into the Golden Eclipse. Now they're looking for the Ziggs. The Ziggs gets out of range, and the brand is here. Panay is going to get melted by Lizzo. Now Jellybean Jeff may be in some danger. Gets a big combo with that Radiant Volley. Steps out of the Pillar of Flame, and Lizzo's going to just walk too close to the sun and get iced out as Big Back Catering lose another member. Frisky is going to pick that one up, unfortunately, but still, the play in bottom is a 3-for-1. More plates as well for the team. It's going to be Mint kind of cleaning up here. Yes, they lose top tier 1, but their carries in the Mel, in the Jarvan, in, I guess, the Nami picking up a lot there, which is great.
Yeah, I mean, like, bot lane going extremely well off of that series of events.
Concrete Muncher, it's the max range Blast Frost, but Canny turning around with the World Ender. Great bait means that Concrete Muncher has to flash away. Panay is finally here, but they don't have the ultimate or the flash. Flag and Drag doesn't hit, as it's going to be a great stun from Concrete Muncher, and the TP just to seal the deal. It is, again, everyone looking for this Aatrox. It's pretty lore accurate as everybody tries to get the kill on this guy. 4-4 now, but Canny just has so much pressure in the side lanes, means that they have to respond to this Aatrox, while the rest of Big Back are kind of they're kind of getting the Bows treatment, that they get a little bit more free time because so many members are just heading top.
Yeah, and unfortunately though, there's just not much. There's not really anything to take. You do benefit from the fact that using those TPs, from Jellybean Jeff means that maybe when the next dragon comes up in just under a minute, like Mel has to be there immediately rather than sitting in the side lane and more farm. But because there's nothing to hard punish from the commitment, it's not really that like worrisome for the side. Oh, okay, almost a yawn, not quite. It's not that worrisome for this side of Mint Ice Cubes. They're not really that bothered by the fact that, like, okay, you had to burn the TP. Maybe it feels a little bit inefficient, sure, because ultimately I don't really think the Mel can be there, but it's not awful, right? Like, you're shutting down the Aatrox, you're stemming the bleed, you're staunching the bleed a little bit. Obviously, Canny is still going to continue to be a problem as you see him just sitting in that top lane. You see Concrete Muncher down here towards the bottom lane trying to set up for that Drag Rex Cat.
Frisky in some danger, but they get the stun on the Seraphine with the one pop. They get the Cataclysm on the brand as well. The Super Mega Death Rock, and the burn, though, is going to clean up 2. It's a double kill post-mortem from Lizzo's brand. TP from Canny, but he gets rooted up by the Solar Snare. Pops the World Ender. Zig hits him with the Dark Embrace for the root. Flag and Drag keeps him away, and Canny's just going to get blown up by the combos. Jellybean, Jeff, and Zig just have enough firepower to break through this Drain Tank, and the carries can do it. It seems like in this game, every single player is paper. One wrong move, and you're just dead. I was going to bring this up too. Panay going for the full lethality build is, maybe a little bit unneeded when you have 4 damage dealers on your team, but hey, it's definitely a choice. So no team have any frontline, and it's just, if you misposition, you're just dead.
I mean, look, lethality J4 is one of those cheesy things that, like, I think, at least when I was learning how to play League, I thought, man, this is awesome. Like, I'm one-shotting everyone. I am literally Goomba stomping the enemy team. And when it works, that's exactly what lethality J4 feels like, right? When it doesn't work, you feel like you are the biggest drag on your entire team that could possibly exist because you can't kill anyone, you're constantly going and dying. It's working out for Panay so far, and it should still hit hard even into the late game because all the members of the enemy team are squishy, so your damage should be meaningful. The other part of it might be that Panay thinks, okay, well, I need to offer some kind of additional physical damage because it takes a little bit of time for Senna to get there. But ultimately, I think at the end of the day, this is more of just Everybody on the enemy team is vulnerable. Everyone is going to die in 2 seconds. I should just help. I should just help kill everybody as fast as possible.
I mean, yeah, death is the best CC.
Yeah, absolutely true. And you can see that reflected in that second item axiom arc, right? You are playing for your ability to kill. Little bit of MR in the inventory working towards what I think is going to be a Maw Malmortius next. But that's the survivability, and I think it's fair considering all the magic damage on the side of Big Back Catering. Obviously, big exceptions to that are Aatrox and Corki, but you're just trying to survive that burst from the brand, from Ziggs.
Oh, wait, Jellybean Jeff reflecting back the root means the Golden Eclipse gets the kill. That is why you do not just throw those things out. Wait, it's a flash forward from Canny. The TP channeled from the Anivia. Concrete Muncher looking for the play. And now the flank from the Nami. Can they catch the Aatrox? It's just the Nami looking here. I think Aatrox is just going to dash the wall. Yep, it's just an easy dash over. But, I mean, that TP forced out from the Anivia because they got scared. And Zig no longer having the flash is big. Considering there's a brand, there's a Ziggs, there's a Corki, there's a lot of incremental damage that you want to flash away from. So both teams getting a little bit antsy, I think, in this mid game. It is dangerous because, again, no tank, all damage. It's just... Bro is built. Panay on the Jarvan's building my ARAM Mayhem build, and you love it, true. I'm not sure if I'm totally convinced, but Canny now looking for this 1v1, but it's not a 1v1. It never is. Flag and Drag hits, but there's so much damage from that Q3. Canny gets a lot of healing as well. Panay locks him into the Cataclysm, and Canny just cannot escape. That is the lethality. Jarvan, baby, getting the execute with that Profane Hydra. The 2v1 again going in the favor of Mint Ice Cubes as, yeah, this Jarvan just straight up has a tent, but a Rift Herald is being used mid. Lizzo is here. Bubble is great to stop the Herald for a little bit, but Zig trying to clear the wave. Oh, flash forward from May on the Ziggs to get the explosion onto Concrete Muncher. Mega Inferno Bomb as well. I think it got dodged by Concrete Muncher. He's trying to kite this out. Dodges the bouncing bomb. Hits the stun, and I think maybe can get away from this. Oh my god, they're out.
Like, this is another one of those, like, I hate X Champion. Right? Like, ultimately, can you argue that that is all on May? At the end of the day, land your skill shots? Absolutely. But if Anivia wasn't so annoying, that would be a much easier kill. But moving away from that, talking about what Big Back Catering are bringing to the table, because earlier, just a couple of minutes ago, they were only down by 5.
Wait, Flag and Drag on a wreck that into the instant Cataclysm, and I think the Encore is just a swan song for the Seraphine. That is... Hey, that's lethality. Jarvan, baby. That's the one shot you were talking about, True. They collect an easy one as Rex Cat tries to cancel the recall from Frisky.
I mean, ultimately, like, yeah, just acknowledge that everyone on your team is squishy here, right? Like, not a single person on either team can walk up alone. That's the truth. And the team that is more consistently walking up alone is Big Back Catering. Right, you're seeing the Aatrox walk up. You're seeing now the Seraphine walk up
right now, but Jellybean Jeff actually rebuttals nothing because the Umbral Chain, or sorry, the Infernal Chain hit a minion. Flag and Drag in from Panay. He doesn't have Cataclysm just yet. Slows with the Smite. Canny's World Ender did run out. Jellybean Jeff whiffing the Radiant Volley, whiffing the Solar Snare. Is there enough damage? The Flag and Drag is good. Flash out from Jellybean Jeff. The Golden Eclipse doesn't get the kill, and now it's a stun onto Frisky, who's just going to get melted by the brand. He flashed away, but can't get away from the Ziggs. It is just a comedy of errors, I think, from Mint Ice Cubes. They burn 3 flashes, and they don't get anything. And that might be a Baron angle for Big Back Cater. Okay, no, they're not going to go for Baron, but man, that was a complete misplay, I think. They whiffed multiple flashes to not even kill the Aatrox. Means that they lose everything, and the gold lead is pretty much evened out from Big Back after those 2 big kills.
So this is an interesting thing to factor in here, because I think in most circumstances I wouldn't disagree with you that is a potential angle for Baron. But here's the thing: every single member on the side of Big Back Catering is ultra squishy. That's point A. Point B is that this is the high damage Baron, right? This is the one that hurts the most. And if you try to get 4 squishies, no matter how high their damage is to do that Baron, it is so dangerous to do in the face of another high damage team because you will get blown up. So probably a good thing to not commit for Baron in that.
Yeah, but with that, the zoning from Jellybean Jeff on the Mel means that it's a free Dragon. Dragon Soul point secured. That's Cloud, Dragon Soul, prepped and ready in 5 minutes for Mint Ice Cubes. I mean, I think the Anivia works really well with it, as well as the Nami. But, you know, not many members that can really use that movement speed. I mean, just raw movement speed from the bat, but the passive is great to dodge the skill shots that they'll definitely be needing, but not a huge use for that ultimate, but still, you'll take that perma buff nonetheless, and now it's like Big Back Catering pretty much have to fight on every single one of them unless they want to give up that permanent buff.
Yeah, I mean, like the more important thing I think in this case for the teams is less about the ultimate movement speed, more about denial, right? You do not want to let Kevin pretty much have like permanent uptime on movement speed. You do not want to let Canny with World Ender on Aatrox get that sort of movement speed. The denial is, I think, ultimately way more important. Obviously, like you said, Concrete Munch are more than happy to have something like a Cloud Soul, but making sure that Aatrox and Corki don't have super high repositioning ability is very, very important for the side of Mint Ice Cubes. But at the end of the day, you also get, you know, that huge amount of movement speed base, as well as like have all the out of combat movement speed from the stacks too. It's good to just have that rotational power.
Oh wait, Rexhan in some danger. Instant flash out, but the Cataclysm to follow means it's a slam dunk. That's the Goomba Stomp, exactly true. Jellybean Jeff now looking for the Ziggs. Oh my god, big damage from the Radiant Volley, and the Golden Eclipse just executes him of 30%. The reflect back of the Minefield gets the slow, which sets up the snare, which sets up the kill. Jellybean Jeff with the perfect rebuttal timing gets the kill, but maybe they're in some danger now. They wasted the Solar Snare on the wave. Lizzo, I think surely this is a freebie, right? Oh, nice juking from Jellybean Jeff. Rebuttal kind of wasted, and it's a flash fadeaway on that Pyroclasm to get the kill, and now Kevin has to flash away from Zig and Frisky. It's a flash ball, and I think Zig is going to easily clean this up as Frisky's there for the support if needed, and flash fadeaway Pyroclasm looked cool from Lizzo, but I think Zig actually needed the flash and secures the kill onto Lol Kevin in the mid lane, showing that, yeah, this Senna scaling is starting to hurt.
Yeah, it's Senna scaling, also just like plus Nami. Right, like having that additional magic damage from Nami just throwing Tidecaller's Blessing on you feels so nice because you just follow up your initial slow through Q with auto attacks that slow, and there's really nothing more you can do to get away. And because I think kind of consistently Rexcat isn't sticking with anyone, at least it feels like Rexcat isn't like connected at the hip to the Corki, and I kind of feel like that's what you need from the Seraphine. The Echoes of Helia build, sure, like, this is super standard stuff for Seraphine, and that's the best way I can say it. But this is, once again, where I'm saying, like, it begs the question, do you really need to do this? Like, could you have focused on survivability, focused on keeping these squishier targets and yourself alive? And I think that that's probably what would have been more preferable. Now, that's certainly not the only reason why Big Back Catering is in this dire strait, but I think it is a factor worth like keeping in mind here. Obviously, Big Back Catering, they are on the back foot, but they are not out of this game. You know, they're only 1.4, 1.5k gold down. That's a relatively thin margin, especially when both of these teams are so capable of pumping out so much damage, especially keeping in mind what Grand can do.
Oh, Frisky kind of frontlining as in front of the Seraphine, gets hit with the Encore, but Jellybean Jeff is here. Pinay looking for them, and just bonks him once with the auto. Now looking for Lol Cabin, who already valked away, hits him with the Cataclysm, the Dawning Shadow over the top, gets the kill. A great chase down on the mid lane, on the mid lane from the bot lane duo of Big Back, and it's a 2-for-0, but multiple ults and summoners used. It's a TP on the mid wave, and oh my god, that TP sucked, as May has to instantly flash to get away from the root, and now Pinay starting this Baron. This is the high damage one. Jellybean Jeff and Frisky already chunked out. Solar Snare hits on Canny. Oh my god, the chain back, but Lizzo's now in some danger. The Flag and Drag misses. Can Lizzo get enough damage? Golden Eclipse gets on it, and look at the Nami explode.
Man, the brand
Lizzo
pops.
some damage though. Mega Infernal Bomb. Oh my god, just kills Zig from half HP as Jellybean Jeff has the flank. There's a lot of poke damage, though, from this Ziggs. The Dragon Drag misses, and Canny tries to get the knockups, hits it on the backline. It's a triple for the Mel, and it's going to be Pinay killing the Ziggs in return. Zig goes down, but so does Ziggs. That's some wordplay there as Canny just gets jumped on by the Goomba Stomp. I don't think he wins this 1v2, but he can try. He actually gets a huge shutdown on Pinay, almost 1k gold bounty. But in the end, it is just Concrete Muncher, the only one living, and everybody from both teams just explode. That is the problem when every single person buys damage, is that there is no one who can actually eat it. The gold lead is still just about 1k for both these teams. Big Back is getting a huge amount of shutdowns, especially on that Jarvan.
Yeah, it was a huge move from...
oh, and they're on the Dragon here. This is Soul. Lol Cabin just started it.
I mean, Kevin's here alone. You do see Concrete Muncher as the only person to respond. Neither junglers are present, though. Panae's down for another...
Oh,
second
the
TP
Nivea, but
coming
she's
through.
quite tanky. Kevin just pumping out the damage, though. Dawning Shadow gets the shield and the damage, and Rexcat goes down immediately. The TP
Comes Lizzo.
by Jellybean Jeff. Yeah, there's Lizzo, but misses the steer. Kevin is taking so much damage, gets executed, and Zig hit the root on Lizzo and dodges the steer back, dodges the pillar as well as the flash stun from Concrete Muncher with the flashed frost and the mint ice cubes. Again, they just ice the competition. Oh my god, look at the damage from Mega Inferno Bomb. Jellybean just has to splash away from the dragon and not die. It's a big heal from the redemption from the Senna. Panay taking some damage. This is the Ziggs looking to steal it, and it is going to get secured though. And oh my god, what a beautiful crystallized locks the Ziggs behind the wall for Panay to clean that one up with the flag and drag and the auto. What a great set of plays from Concrete Munchers and Nivea. First the stuns onto the carries, and then the wall to lock in the Ziggs means it's a freebie Baron for Mint Ice Cube. They get the soul, they get the Baron, they get the kills, and now it's going to be a 4K gold lead after this. That is just Mint Ice Cubes completely blowing the game open after that dragon fight.
A Concrete Muncher built a wall and made Big Back Catering pay for it. My goodness. Obviously at that point, the wall going up and locking the Ziggs in, it's sort of the end of it all already, right? But the other part of that is the fight just doesn't go well, primarily because Concrete Muncher, as you said, so deceptively tanky with all that health stacked up. This Corki has yet to participate in a single kill this game.
Oh,
right? The Corki,
that's depression.
The Corki is like not having a fun time, and so Kevin and Rexcat, the two weakest members of Big Back Catering, were the ones who were on the dragon. They were the only ones who were able to deploy towards it. And so Concrete Muncher comes along, their damage isn't enough to pressure the Anivia, it takes too long, they can't kill anybody, they end up getting collapsed on, Lizzo shows up as well, and then one by one, like dominoes, they just fall.
Panay dropped the Cataclysm and it was flashed away from Rexcat, and they're going to use that to get the bottom turret here.
I mean, yeah, but like, you're absolutely right, and like that's why this J4, this ultra high damage J4, who's now building a little bit more tanky, right, has built high offense items into transitioning towards like defensive offensive items with the Death's Dance as well as the Maw of Malmortius, and now working on the Thornmail. But
Mega Inferno Bomb doesn't hit anything.
Yeah, I think it's just for wave clear, but you're fighting into Baron, right? Like you have so much natural magic resistance with that buff. It's hard for Ziggs to contend with it. Now Ziggs is kind of like the bright spot for, I'd say Ziggs brand are the bright spot for Big Back Catering as far as these team fights go. Right? As long as they're up, their capability of doing damage is severe. But if they can't, if they don't have anyone to kind of distract, to kind of hold it down, then it doesn't really matter how much damage they pump out unless they're like hard bursting the enemy backline. So Big Back Catering, they are in this precarious position once again. The tempo is so definitively behind, or sorry, not in their favor, but even in spite of all that, they're not doing horribly. You know, like they're still only like 4.5k down, which when you look at a kill score of 1528 and like 4 dragons, it's 30 minutes in, you'd think it would be much worse. But they've played reasonably well, like they've farmed extremely well too. It's just that like their bot lane has fallen so far behind, and these fights are just so explosive.
Yeah, pretty explosive fights. I mean, that's what happens when you don't have a front line and you don't have engage. I mean, Rexcat's the only person really, and the Encore has been reflected multiple times this game, and the Baron buff continues. But oh my god, look at the bouncing bombs. The bright spot of Mei Ziggs is pretty much the only, I think, the only thing keeping the side of Mid Ice Cube from completely wrecking the base. Concrete Muncher, maybe in a bad position, kiting out away from the Aatrox, sets up the Crystallize, and the egg is just popped, but the Tidal Wave over the top creates a lot of space, but it still is the shutdown over to the Anivia as they blow up the bird while she's in omelet form. It is Lizzo having to burn the flash for that, but a good stop to the push and a pretty decent shutdown. I'm not sure exactly who got it. I think it was the brand. Oh no, I think it was the Ziggs. So more gold in the pocket of Mei. Means that the Ziggs Mega Inferno Bomb, if they have a good angle for it, it will just straight up one-shot the Senna, the Nami, possibly even the Mel if she doesn't have the shield. There's just a lot of danger going into this Ziggs, which I think, yeah, like you said, is the bright spot here, True.
Oh, Corki's got an assist. Finally on the board.
Okay.
It's okay.
That's big.
It's okay.
That's big.
Kevin is no longer completely shut out of the game. No, it's still bad, right? Like it's still bad. Like obviously the ability to defend for big back catering is pretty substantial, right? You have Ziggs, you have Brand. That is a lot of wave clearing power. So as long as they're still up, it's not horrible. I will say like one other undiscussed like benefit to Cloud Soul that we didn't discuss is
Oh,
like
wait, Renee going for the Flag and Drag, but it misses Liz, though, who's out of position, though. They don't have the flash anymore. But the golden power of the Zhonya's keeps him alive for just a little bit longer, but it's not enough. Multiple ultis used from the Senna, from the Mel, from the Jarvan, and Jellybean Jeff taken so low, has to pop the Zhonyas of their own. Kevin maybe looking for the snipe. Big one only hits the Jarvan, and the Anivia has a flank, but Concrete Muncher immediately has to flash away. That was maybe a really bad angle there for the Anivia, as the poke damage is going to keep away the Mel for now. They have the TP back. Concrete Muncher doesn't, though. And I don't know if anything's spawning very soon. It is Elder Dragon in under a minute there. So Lizzo will be up for it. And if I can jump in here, Drew, do you mind checking the stacks on Senna for me? There's got to be a ton on that Senna by now.
It's 116. Yeah, it's very healthy. Like Senna carry stacks.
Flag and Drag.
Oh.
Panay looking for it. Concrete Muncher sees that Kevin used. Oh my god, that's a great wall to force the flash out of Kevin. So Corki no longer having that for this next fight, which is crucial. Coming up, though, is Lizzo very soon. They're going to make it back. And Ziggs, not Zig, but Ziggs, the champion, is going to have it. Oh, Kevin just going to Valk on top of Ziggs' face. Gonna not be
you
able
can't
to
catch. Like there's no
drag into the Cataclysm. Kevin, I think, is gonna go down here. They're locked in a bad spot, and now Panay getting the angle on Canny as well. The stun hits them. The golden eclipse on Canny as well. The tidal wave to cut off their escape as Jellybean Jeff base tanks the Ziggs damage with the rebuttal and makes it great. Dawning Shadow doesn't kill Ziggs, though, and it's going to be just Lizzo in a bad spot, locked up by Zig on that last embrace and going to get killed for it. Rex Cat just, oh, that cat is in a terrible spot as they get flag and dragged. It's a double for Zig, and after what we thought was the dream team fight for the Ziggs, means it's actually Zig the guy just running them over, as Mint Ice Cubes don't lose a single member. They bait out the big abilities, they catch one by one, and after that decisive fight, after a very long fought game, they're going to secure game 2 for match point in the semifinals here. True, what? I would say pleasure to watch, but I'm not sure if I like just seeing two teams explode each other for 35 minutes in. But hey, that is a win, regardless of how dirty Mint Ice Cubes picked that one up. Hello, everybody. We are back. It's the Mint Ice Cubes versus Big Back Catering. It's 2-0 up for Mint Ice Cubes in the Franchise Premier League Season 4 semifinals. And Big Back are looking to take one last bite, possibly, out of their competition. And it better be a big one, because they need this win if they want to keep their playoff hopes alive for grand finals next week, where one of these teams possibly will be facing the Faceless, who did end up 3-0ing their opponents in a spectacularly quick fashion, faster even than this game on stream. But with that, possibly our last intro. It's Kevin, Dunk, True, and Shavam taking you to game 3 of this pretty exciting best of 5 already. Oh, Lizzo already getting evaded by Panay. Gets him with that Darkened Scythe. And yeah, just being a nuisance to the Lilia, who's pretty weak level 1.
I mean, like you force it. Yeah, you make Lilia tank up a lot of the hits from the red buff. Jellybean Jeff may also responding flash.
The smite gets taken away by the cane.
Oh, no.
And Lizzo just has nowhere to go, because Panay gets the shadow step for the kill. They get the move speed, they get the level 2, and that is an absolute tragedy. From the side of Big Back Catering. That's it. If I'm the jungler there, I'm tilted after experiencing that. But Canny maybe getting this pressure on that level 1 for Concrete Muncher. Ooh, nice dodge of the undertow, but maybe it's not enough. It's the flash under turret, but Canny gonna trade their life for it, so it is ending up to be a 1-for-1. Wave crashes in, but it's gonna get picked up by the zombie form regardless. So Canny not getting first blood there means that it's actually not that good for the Olaf. Frisky blocking a lot of damage. The Ignite drop by Rexcan on Zig. Concussive blows, gets the fight back as Zig has to pop the heal, or it gets healed by Frisky and gets the jump back. Kevin, though, stuck between the minions, gets stunned up by the concussive blows. The flash needs to play back in. This is just a comedy of errors as Zig's just gonna kill him. There's not enough damage from the Leona alone, and it is Mint Ice Cubes roaring to life in this game 3, maybe to a couple of possibly tilt plays from Big Back Catering. I'm not an expert, but that looked rough for the bot lane. They just went so desperately. Kevin kind of dips out when Rexcat goes in, and then Kevin gets in when Rexcat dips out, and he goes for the last Zenith Blade, sending him to his doom. I'm sorry, Tree, you don't get a lot to talk about this early, because there's already so much action happening here. Oh, big chunk from that
Oh my
decimating
lord.
smash. Kenny might just
Those
die on
minions
the next
hurt.
crash.
The minions hurt so much this early on, and as you said, because of Scion's zombie form, even killing the Scion very early on is actually bad for Canny. Oh dear. That's just making things go from bad to worse. Yes, Olaf does have a lot of damage. With that shield, you become deceptively tanky, deceptively hard to deal with. But now, Concrete Puncher!
Solo kill from Concrete Puncher!
And there's no TP for the Olaf either, so this wave is going to get shoved in, and that's the sort of thing that you see, like, you're playing top lane, and you're like, okay, it's over. It's done. I can't play this lane anymore. I've given up 2 kills. I am like over almost 2 whole waves of CS behind. You know, the wave is crashing into my turret. I'm having a horrible, horrible time. And wait, no, actually, maybe the wave is bouncing back.
Oh, Jellybean
no, yeah, it's
getting
bouncing
yanked
back.
by the 3-man. Zenith Blade hits. Chef is locked up in place. Finally flashes, but the stun. Oh no, the nice disintegrate gets the stun back. That cone actually keeping Jellybean Jeff alive, and they get the cannon as well. So wait, this could be a flash angle for the Zeri, though. If Jellybean Jeff is... Oh, yeah, he greeted for it, and that's the execute off of the zap from the Zeri. So Jellybean Jeff maybe greeting a bit too much for the cannon, but in the end... Oh, wait, Kevin might be in some trouble. Gets tagged by the Winner's Fight. They have the Ghost activated from Zig, who's just railing him with the Ricochet and the autos. I think Kevin is just dead. That is just a straight-up rundown. And in mid lane, it's actually Panay getting the angle on the Zeri. Had the flashback him and just goes for it. Gets the flash, or gets the barrier out of the Zeri, too. It looks like Mint Ice Cubes, even though they lose some members, they continue to fire back and get more kills on this Kane, who's getting extremely dangerous already on that Brutalizer and 2 kills.
Yeah, I mean, this has been a seriously bad number of events for this side of for the side of Big Back Catering. You know, falling to a 2.3k deficit at 5 minutes is, to put it lightly, astronomically bad. I mean, like, you're looking at Kane, who is a carry in his own right, getting 2 kills early. Scion is 2-1 into the Olaf, and also this Sivir is 2 kills deep. Like, absolutely, Big Back Catering can find opportunities for themselves if Mint overextends or mispositions, but this is a really bad spot to find yourself in as far as your laning is concerned, because, like, the thing is, like, Olaf from a deficit, Olaf from behind is extremely unthreatening, right? Like, you don't have damage. If you don't have damage, you're not really able to effectively threaten the backline. If you're not effectively threatening the backline as Olaf, really, what are you doing? So it's a bad spot in top. Like, mid lane, it's a bit of a wash. It's certainly favored more towards Mei on this surprise Zeri pick here. But bot lane definitely leaning more towards Zig and Frisky, just because of those 2 kills that they've gotten into that Sivir's pocket. So yeah, things not going super hot for the side of Big Back Catering this early on. Certainly on the back foot, but they did go for comfort. We did see at least one of their comfort picks get a kill, so maybe they can materialize a little bit of magic for themselves, you know, bring themselves back into this game, make it a bit more competitive. At the moment, looking pretty dicey. Taking a look at the team setups, nothing too surprising to be had from either team. All very, very typical, like no surprise keystones or summoners. So maybe looking for a chase down here, but they can finalize that.
Hey, you just tag him with the Winter's Bite, but I mean, if I'm Zig, I'm so happy right now. I have a Cull, and I beat a sword while my opponent's sitting on double
chilling.
Right? Like, that is, you're chilling, and you're playing with Sivir, which can just, like, one-tap the waves now, consistently shove in. And again, there's not a lot of direct dive threat outside of the Leona. If you space out that Zenith Blade or just dodge it, you're relying on Canny's Olaf to just run towards the backline. And like you were talking about here, True, is that, oh my lord, Panay steals the red buff once again. Is just going to walk down Lizzo, I think, with the double buffs.
Be a collapse, though.
Damage. Half HP. There is the roam from Rexcat. The flash is burnt. Need to play it in from the Leona, but Rexcat now in some sticky situation. It's actually a 2v4, but Panay having to pop the ultimate. It's a shutdown over to the Kane. The driving goes into the wall. Then Jellybean Jeff's just isolated here, and he might just go down. It's a double kill over to the Zeri, so this play was just a bit too aggressive from Mint, and it's going to be a triple, I think, over. No, it is Canny taking that, but 3 kills traded over very quickly from Big Back because Mint Ice Cubes may just feel a bit too big for their britches. They leave the misfortune alone, and the Leona makes all the difference.
Yeah, and like I gotta say, you know, that's the sort of situation where you see the Leona, like you're Panay, right? Like, imagine you're Panay, and you see the Leona Zenith Blade onto you, like, 30 seconds before grubs have spawned in the enemy jungle. You're wondering, we're like, man, what's this guy doing here? It's so early. But hey, you know, because of that move from RexCat, like I said, the way that Big Back Catering finds their way back into this game, they shore up their deficit, is if Mint overextends or finds themselves out of position. And that's exactly what happened there. RexCat read them like a book, was in the right place at the right time, and they're able to have a huge punish onto the solo lanes and jungle of Mint Ice Cubes. And now they're only at a 5k, or sorry, 5k, 500 gold deficit, down from that 2.2, 2.3 from earlier. A much, much healthier spot for Big Back Catering. It's like, thing on both junglers' plates, though, is going to be that dragon.
Yeah, Dragon is here. Smite away from Lizzo to secure that Risk Scuttler to get the vision. Risky looking for the Winter's Bite. It hits. Glacial Fissure used as well. Jellybean Jeff backed off a little bit, though, so there's no angle on it. I think Lizzo's going to give up first Dragon, which is a good call. Just keep power farming on the Lilia. The Deer needs the money, needs the items before they're effective. But that does mean not a very early Dragon, actually. It's about 9 minutes when it's going to be finished for Mint. So Big Back getting a bit more time on their side. I mean, if I'm Big Back, though, I'm really thinking, like, yes, my Olaf and my Zeri got some money, but in the mid-game team fights, I think Zeri's going to have to play very carefully to not get just one shot by Panay and Jellybean Jeff on their two, like, point-and-click damage spells.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that being said, though, it's not as though Zeri is ineffective here. Already 3-1, you know, relatively healthy CS lead. Here in the top lane, Canny starting to express Olaf's power, working on that Ravenous Hydra, working on all of that. Lifesteal is going to spell good things. Is great for your sustain. So yeah, like I think that there are absolutely things that Big Back Catering can be playing through at this moment, and if they continue to play through them, they should be coming out of laning phase more than healthy. Like they should be completely okay. That being said, oh wait, Ragnarok gets popped by Annie up here in the top lane.
Yeah, Concrete Muncher still has
the dive, I think.
I think he's gonna live. Oh, okay.
Yeah, he just wins. Yeah.
Sorry, that was just a wet fart from Canny, who invests the ulti and just runs down the side, and Sion goes, all right, dude. Doesn't even wait for the flash, and it's totally fine. I mean, that's definitely a play.
It's
where
a surprising choice.
Yeah, it's a questionable move. I mean, he doesn't even have TP to get back, so it's just gonna be Sion just collecting the farm here. The Olaf might not be that threatening in the middle of the game.
Yeah, I think it's more like I think Canny misread the situation, thinking like, okay, this is a diveable angle, but it certainly didn't pan out. Looks like grubs are going to be on the table here. Side
Concrete Muncher is low though. Lizzo looking for it, but does all three go over to the side of Mint? It's a walk up from Zeri with the lightning blast. But look at the instant stun into the double knockup. The solar flare is here, but Panay's going to go down before they can secure. RexCat drops the kill with the Eclipse onto Concrete Muncher, and now Panay in some danger, getting kited by Lizzo, but Tibbers is creating so much space. It's a double for Jellybean Jeff, and Lizzo did their best, but they're not on the first item, and Kane is. So Lizzo, regardless of how fast you run around, it's not enough damage to actually secure anything. Concrete Muncher's kill actually goes to the Leona, which I don't think is bad at all for the side of Mint. Panay picks up one, Jellybean Jeff picks up another, so then Annie getting back up to parity, being able to farm this wave as well without having to fight the Zeri means that the mid jungle of Mint are getting stronger, and this Kane isn't even on form yet.
Yeah, I mean, like this is a monstrous amount of gold that Nay has gotten this early on. This Kane is continuing to be a thorn in BBC's side. Honestly, Panay has been a very consistent thorn in Big Back Catering side this entire series. It's been working out extremely well for the jungler of Mint. That being said, like there are things that can be played through here. I think like you were talking about, the critical issue for Lizzo in that last fight is that Lilia does not have a complete item. Maybe if they do, it's a slightly different situation. Ragnarok popped in top lane once again.
He's kind of tickling the Sion.
Oh, yeah.
Sion has the plated steel caps. I feel like he can just walk away from this. Concrete Muncher taking a lot of damage, though. Finally, the damage is adding up from the Sion. Tries to juke away from the undertow, and he gets flashed on, but the Decimating Smash gets the kill, and that is absolutely tragic because the flash was burned even from Canny. But now look at bottom lane. Lizzo looking for Frisky, but it doesn't have the Wilting Lullaby. Can't actually lock down the Braum, who's quite tanky in their own right. Gets a Winter's Bite, dodges out on that blow. And now look at Panay. Look at the move from the Annie. Oh my god, a great Glacial Fissure hits Lizzo, who has to flash away. Bullet time, though. Gets big damage onto Zig and Panay, but he flashes in. Panay collects one, but he's taken very low. Pops the ultimate. gets a lot of health back from the red form ultimate. Oh my god, look at the damage from the King. He didn't get it though. It's a shutdown underturn because Kevin lives on single-digit HP with that barrier. And now Jellybean Jeff might be running down the Zeri. Can't get the Incinerate over the wall. And the 1v1 gets the flash out of the Annie, but it can't get more. But it was so close for Lyle Kevin to go down there.
It's such a thin margin. Kevin was able to stay alive, holding the barrier for as long as possible. Does mean they come away with that kill onto Zig. They're not able to get that kill onto Panay, though. You're seeing this Kayn, this red form Kayn is just so devastating. Even with this, hyper damage oriented build, you have a lot of sustain through your ultimate, and that's the thing that is really frustrating to play against from that form. Yeah, things are consistently going well here for the side of Mint. It doesn't really feel like they're getting super pressured at the moment. Like, I think off of Canny's early deaths, as well as like the previous two just being kind of perplexing, like really not respecting how much damage Sion is capable of pumping out, is kind of spelled a little bit of doom for Big Back Catering. Like, they're losing top lane. Mid lane is, let's say, a bit even. Like, things are kind of equalized off of those 2 kills that Jellybean Jeff was able to get. But bot lane certainly in favor of Zig, but Zig is in a lot of trouble right now.
I think, just might die to the walk him down. The double up went through the minion, and Zig actually might
a lot of damage. He trades
1-for-1. That is insane. Tanking up so much damage there. It's about half HP on the Sivir before they tried fighting back, and they still trade 1-for-1. That is big damage. I mean, we were talking about the greedy build of the Kaldoran's bow. It's even greedier if you can go the Yuntal, and I think Zig is completely fine going for that. That is a massive payoff once you get that fully stacked item. That is the best crit item in the game if you can buy it. And man, I feel like Zig is in a perfect spot to carry. Like, even with the MF getting a full-on double up, free time hitting, that was still a trade 1-for-1, and that's not even Zig at full power yet.
Yeah, it's honestly an insane amount of damage to be contending with. I mean, like, yes, it's a 1v1, and like I think you could also argue conversely MF was behind, able to get that much damage down, but still, it's not great.
Wait, Rizzo walks into the Kayn, who just punks him out so much with the Blades Reach. The double snare, or sorry, double sleep goes on, but Jellybean Jeff executes him with the Disintegrate. It's going to be a Zenith Blade in just to buy time, and the bullet time is not enough to buy the time for Rexcat to escape, so Lol Kevin has to back away as the 4-man play goes in favor of Mint Ice Cubes. Top lane, Canny hits him with the big smash. The Reckless Swing does big damage with the Unstoppable Onslaught into the Slayer's Roar is just better. Concrete Puncher's not playing a damage dealer, but damn, Canny falls over like a piece of paper. Concrete Puncher's just winning these fights by just the smallest margin every single time, and it is every single time he wins one, it gets worse and worse for Canny because Concrete Muncher gets further and further ahead with the tankiness, and he's going to collect the first turret of the game as well in top. So Mint Ice Cubes now at a 5k gold lead at 15 minutes. They're looking very primed to close this one out cleanly. But hey, hang on to your hats, folks. It's not over until the Fat Lady Sings Big Back Catering still have a chance in this one if they just play their cards right.
Yeah, I also will say it's really interesting for me to see the experimental Hexblade on the Zeri. Like, you do get a lot of stats that Zeri is more than happy to work with. Ton of attack speed, ton of movement speed, and you also have ultimate haste off of it. So I think that's kind of the angle that you're looking at. Now, will I say, like, it's a bruiser item, so, like, does it fit really well on Zeri? Not too sure.
Panay is here for the Blades Reach. The knockup gets flashed away from. It is Mei living barely with that flash, not in choosing to use the barrier, but now in the top lane, again, the Ragnarok top, I think. Olaf's doing work.
It just doesn't work.
He's going to have to run away.
It doesn't work because you're fighting into a Thornmail.
Tibbers absolutely just fries him. I mean, call it Mint Ice Cubes. Ice Cubes are cold, but this guy is not. He is running hot. Canny does not have LT, and that's just, I think, an easy kill for Panay to end him.
Dear. I mean, like...
oh, dear indeed.
It's so sad because there's really nothing more you can do as Olaf.
Fisher goes completely wide. Redcat dropping the Solar Flare. Lizzo getting zoned out by the Braum. Blades Reach goes on the Leona, who tries to get one back with the Ignite, but can't. The Umbral Trespass, keeping the Kayn so safe. And Mint Ice Cubes, everybody who's not the Sivir soaking up farms from running around the map getting killed.
Yeah, like, this is such a difficult situation to contend with. Because, as Olaf, like I was saying, like... Olaf, your game plan is always the same. Like, the only thing that changes on whether you have a lead or whether you're behind is if you can actually pull it off or not. And Canny already can't.
Oh, wait, look at the mid lane. Mei the chase down. With a lightning crash. There's no stun from the Tibbers. I think this is just a chase down, a great shutdown from the Zeri, but Zig, I think, is going to pick this one up. The Unstoppable Onslaught for the zoning. and it's going to be Panay collecting another one. Lizzo, though, might walk down Frisky, pops the Unbreakable, and now there's 4 members chasing down this deer. Yes, it is a shutdown on the Braum. Oh, flash on the wall is good, but Zig's going to follow. The last stack of the concussive blows means that Panay collects another, so good trade kills back from May and Lizzo, but they do fall in the process. And yeah, the gold lead is still about, it grew to about 6k, but it is good news for the Zeri, who did manage to get 2 items off that fight. Oh, wait, flash engage from the Leona, but Panay is here to back up as the bodyguard for Zig, who's just chunking out Rexcat now. The Ricochet doing big damage. Solar Flare hits onto the big Kane, and it's going to be another stun for a double bullet time kill. Shut down onto the big Kane from Lol Kevin. Means that that's a lot of gold in the pockets of MF. Great turnaround from Big Back Catering. Their bot lane 2v2 completely run over to the Sivir and the Kane, who was just too low HP, had no ultimate, had no sums. That's a great capitalization that Big Back Catering needs to keep doing if they want to run it back in this game 3.
Yeah, no bounty to be had on Zig, but the critical bounty, the one on Panay, does go into Lol Kevin's pocket. So that MF should be hitting pretty hard. Does have that second completed item in the inventory now.
Burst.
Oh, dear.
Just killed him here. Oh, that's the Storm Surge Malignance, buddy. That is one-shot combo. You face check, you die. And again, Mint is cold, but Jellybean Jeff is running red hot with the Annie pick. Now 6 kills. Oh, Concrete I feel like we've seen this before.
No, this doesn't work.
Even fighting.
No, this doesn't work because Concrete Muncher has Thornmail, right? All of that lifesteal is meaningless.
Kenny's killing himself, and
you're just hurting yourself.
Yeah, that's so funny. Okay, anyways, more action in the bot lane, though. Frisky trying to walk down the Zeri. Point-click stun hits from Jellybean Jeff. Is there enough damage without the Tibbers activation? There is. Storm Surge blows him up, and Jellybean Jeff gets another in a very short amount of time. The Braum there for the shielding. The Annie there for the damage. The Rift Herald now summoned in the top lane, crushing the turret. Rexcat trying to defend this. Well, you have no place to be there, brother. And Panay and Concrete Muncher just going to run him down. Now a second charge from the Herald going in. Lizzo kills it with the smite and the blooming blows. But Panay's looking for more and misses the blade's reach. Lizzo's doing a great job of kiting, but I don't know if there's enough damage. Lol Kevin here, though, with the bullet time. Gets the Drowsy onto the Scion, and I think that's a kill onto the tank. No, he flashes away from the blooming blows, but and he gets the unstoppable onslaught. Could he outrace the bowling ball?
I think he should be able to. I think he's out.
He did it. Wow, that was a criminal escape from Concrete Muncher. I think he actually got hit by it, but he didn't die.
I mean, that's definitely a possibility as well. But like either way, Concrete Muncher is surviving by the skin of his teeth, and the game continues to go quite well for the side of Mid Ice Cubes. They are at almost a 7k gold lead here, 20 minutes into the game. That Catering is on the substantial back foot, but Kevin does have a lot of damage. But this
mono is up all alone. Has to flash away, double knock up into the Tippers with the one shot on the Zeri, and I think again Rexcat is just in a very, very sus position. He gets run down by the meat grinder of the team of Mint Ice Cubes. I mean, I have to be questioning Lol Kevin. Like, yes, you have your Zeri backing you up, but you can't just face tank the Sivir. She does more damage than you. She has IE. She has Unitol. She's just going to kill you with autos. Rexcat goes in to try to save the AD carry, but it's not enough as the backup from Jellybean Jeff, the point-and-click Annie burst. Sometimes you see Annie being useless, and sometimes you see Annie doing this, just one-shotting everyone as the ricochets are starting to hurt. Across the turret, Concrete Muncher tanking up. Jellybean Jeff actually getting aggro, though. It's a shutdown over to the Olaf, but he does eventually go down to Zig and Frisky. Turret goes down to the Scion. Lizzo trying to deal damage. A nice bowling ball angle gets the kill on the Braum. And now Lizzo's unleashed, has a lot of movement. Going for the back line. Lol Kevin's going to go down. Solar Flare whiffs. But on the back line, Lizzo got another shutdown for a double kill on the Sivir. Panay now in some danger, has to kite out of the bowling ball. Double knockup hits into the Blade's reach. The knockup only hits the Leona. Is the Humble Trespass good enough? They have to kill this Zeri. He gets the flash away. The knockup misses, but I think Concrete Muncher can get the kill on the backside. Zeri trying to kite it out, but oh my god, what a great Spark Surge to get over the wall. Panay now getting jumped on by Rexcat, healing up a lot. Blaze Reach gets
so ridiculous.
Lizzo is just getting roasted by the Sunfire Cape. Flashes away to not die, but Panay's going to collect that one on the Leona, who's surprisingly tanky. And Zeri and Lizzo's Lilia limp out of there just barely, but the gold lead has grown to 9k. It's sole point for the side of Mint. The only reason they possibly lost that team fight was because Panay wasn't there and Concrete Muncher was hitting the turret. And I think they're going to back off from this mid lane play, but wow, an explosive fight from both sides. Lizzo picking up a lot of gold, but the gold lead's still very in the favor of Mint.
Yeah, I mean, that was an extremely extended fight. I mean, like, I would say that might be as good of a fight as that Big Back Catering can hope to get. Like, they are so reliant at this point on Kevin having an amazing bullet time in order to win a fight. Like, genuinely, what Big Back Catering need to do to win a fight at this point is land a 5-man sleep from Lizzo's Lilting Lullaby into a full channel of bullet time. Like, I don't think there is another answer for them because of how devastating this Scion is, because of how devastating this Kayn is. Like, they don't have any grievous wounds built on their team outside of Rexcat, who has Thornmail, and they just can't respond to the tankiness of the Scion, the drain tank of this Kayn, and they are just losing.
The Drain Tank Kayn is just running down to Lilia. Lizzo in a bad spot, getting run down by 4. Bullet time gets canceled immediately as the Unstoppable Onslaught misses its mark, but Zig with the call to 4. Oh my god, the call of the Hunt, and Jellybean Jeff just explodes them with the Tibbers. That is one spicy panda, as it's a double kill for Jellybean Jeff. Again, sometimes you see Annie become completely useless by this point in the game, but no, Jellybean Jeff has the burst, has the items, and can just one-shot everyone, because again, Big Back Catering outside of Leona don't really have a tank. They can't survive that upfront burst, especially considering that it's Zeri and the Misfortune. You get in range and you're just going to get roasted, and that means it's a freebie Baron for Mint. Gold lead growing to over 10k now. I think they just got to put the finishing touches on this game with the last little push here. They could get Dragon Soul, they could choose not to. They could probably win the game right now if they wanted.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's only 24 minutes into the game, so those death timers aren't terribly long, but this is such a disadvantageous position to be in. You are 11k gold down. Like Soul is about to spawn. Yes, it's a Chemdrake Soul, so like for a team that's ahead, it's not all that glamorous, but that also opens up the Elder as a possibility. I'm not sure the game will last that long. Look at how much he's tanking!
Yeah, Ragnarok is activated, but Panay's just farming them 4 HP, and oh my god, Jellybean Jeff just roasts them again. This is a summer barbecue, baby, and Jellybean Jeff is the host. He is 3 items, has the Void Staff, cooks them with the Tibbers, and Dragon's up in a minute and a half. There is a wave bot. It's a TP bot as well from, I think, Concrete Muncher, looking to escort this wave in. Yeah, it's going to be Lizzo recalling, not wanting any of that smoke, as Concrete Muncher, again, like you said, just can tank literally everything and not even feel it. I mean, Feel No Pain is no longer Scion's passive, but man, this guy's not feeling a damn thing, as it's going to be a 4-man push in the bot lane. Now it's going to be Frisky making his way downtown, and bot lane tier 3 falls, and the inhib falls as well. It seems like Mint Ice Cubes are looking to end this series off strong.
Lizzo was literally just in bot lane trying to cut the wave, but they walked in with a minion.
Polar Flare misses.
Doesn't really matter.
Frisky blocking for the Annie, who drops the Tibbers. A big Glacial Fissure, but I think this might be Frisky dying. He gets too close to the Olaf, but maybe not. Look at the knockup from the Scion. Rexcat is going to go down. Zig is in a good spot to get the ricochets. The Olaf tries to get a kill, but it's another double for Jellybean Jeff, but look at the lightning crash. The Zeri can't get in range. It's a flash away from the Sivir. Blizzo's now trying to run down the rest of the team. Panay finally makes it back with the Umbral Trespass and going to kill the Zeri with the Decimating Smash. Lizzo collects one on the backside, but the entire base, the entire team is in ruins. Concrete Muncher still pretty much full HP, as Panay and Concrete Muncher and Jellybean Jeff, the 3 top side, are just continuing to wreck house on this base. Malkavan is back up though. Maybe he can do something with the bullet time. Actually, it's not back up yet. He cannot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that they can hold here. Like, this is such a desperate situation they find themselves in. The tower is hitting Concrete Muncher for absolutely
flash
nothing.
Away from Lizzo though. Good kiting. Zenith Blade whiffs. The Tibbers makes Jellybean Jeff have to back away as he has no more mana, but that is 2 inhibs down, all 3 inhibs down. Dragon Soul ripe for the taking. Literally not a single turn outside of that one Nexus turn on, what, 10, not even 10%, 1% HP. It is looking like Mint Ice Cubes, you know, they got the ice cream, they just gotta put the cherry on top.
Yeah, like, this is a borderline impossible situation for Big Back Catering to play for, right? They are 14k gold down, less than 30 minutes into the game. Soul is going into their opponent's pockets, and they have had 0 response to everything that Mint has brought to them. Not just in this game, in the previous 2 as well. It has been a Mint tide flowing through Big Back Catering, and they have done nothing to stem the bleeding. And I don't really, like, just a couple of minutes ago, I was saying their only angle is a 5-man sleep into a bullet time. I don't even think that saves the situation.
At this point. You need a tournament organizer.
Big Back Catering has been asleep this entire game.
Oh wait, Unstoppable Onslaught. Oh my god. Kevin just gets exploded. Tibbers not really needed, and Canny just has to watch as his bot lane dies. His flash in Desperate attempt from the Olaf who gets exploded. It's May trying to kite back with the Zeri with the lightning crash, but it is not enough. Lizzo not even there to see his Nexus fall. Oh, wait, no, he's back. Maybe he can do something. I say that in satire, which is kind of mean, but it's just completely hopeless. It is, in the end, a clean 3-0 from the side of Mint Ice Cubes that are looking to just farm Lizzo outside of the base, finally ending the misery of this 3-0.
Oh my god, the fountain diving.
Farming them at the fountain. And after the fountain farm, that is, Big Back Catering going down. Playoff hopes ended. Their eyes just too big for their stomach. And Mint Ice Cube just put them in the lock-in freezer for good. It is going to be Mint Ice Cubes going to the FPL season finals for season 4 and facing off Faceless in the next week. What a, I'd say, tragic game, but it was kind of fun watching Mint Ice Cubes just one-shot everyone with the Annie Kane combo. So unfortunately for Big Back, they do go down, but Mint Ice Cubes, congratulations for being a finalist.